All right, we are here. This is Donovan Matthews. No, this is 2D Hard Way. Donovan Sadiq, Demetra K. Always creating controversy, doing what you got to do. A lot of stuff going on in the news. Something that is a serious matter. We're going to address that. Dee's going to give us a little input about it. She knows a little bit more about it than we need to. But things are looking up for us, Dee. We've been guesting on a few other shows. Been invited to come out in a couple shows.
Making some rounds. Good rounds.
Some good rounds. So
people are wanting us to come
and speak.
Yeah,
come and speak on the radio, or just sit there and be quiet.
You choose.
So, again, we welcome you guys to D Hard Way. Thank you guys for the likes, shares, comments. We appreciate all the comments, be it good, be it bad. For those podcast listeners that are listening to us, here it is. And we're going to give you guys the update. And unfortunately, for those of you guys at home and that you're in your car commuting, some things that we say you might agree with, or some things we say you might not agree with, but it's going to be given to you raw. And to where you can understand it. So, lately on Facebook, I've been in and out of jail on Facebook jail. Just, and I go to jail because I'm sharing community information.
Right.
An example, we're having a meeting at a golf course and everybody come on out, blah, 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 or whatever. And as soon as somebody in a group doesn't like it, you go to jail.
Right.
Okay, because Facebook doesn't have people actually sitting there reviewing, screen. It's just a bot, and they do what they have to do. And then you'll go on some Facebook, Twitter pages, and you'll see Instagram, which is part of Facebook, right?
Yeah, the Facebook bought it.
Asses just all over the place. Mm-hmm. Basic pornography is all over the place. No jail time for them.
Right.
So in the news recently, and it's a serious matter, there was a thing that was being circulated. And Dee, you can kind of tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, specifically, for those of you who have social media, specifically Facebook, a week ago or so, there was a video of child pornography circulating. Now, I didn't see it on my timeline, but I got it in my inbox, and it sold it a lot of other people. So that kind of sounds like that's how it was going around, is through people's inboxes. And they were saying different things. Like the person who sent it to me was like, "Oh, this is horrible. You need to see this."
Why would you share that if it's so horrible? I wouldn't even, some things I don't even click open.
To me, I was flabbergasted by it, but luckily I had already seen everybody else horrified by it. So when I looked, I didn't open it, I just deleted it, and I went on my page and said, if you guys ever send me this stuff again, I'm reporting it. So anyway. And real quick, a lot of people you don't realize, you got to be very careful, because if it's child pornography or something that is perceived to be child pornography and you open that up, you are now open to you're
laws.
Culprit. You're a culprit.
Yeah, you're because you're sharing child pornography.
It's against the law to view it,
right,
and to share it. And so people don't understand that part. Yeah. Oh, I saw it. Okay. Why? Because that's now whether your intentions were right. You just open it, but it can be considered a crime if they want to take it that way.
Yeah, they want to take it that way. Exactly.
So anyway, it turns out that the little girl in the video, and I won't describe to you what was going on from what I understand, because it's we don't need to. Mm-hmm. But she was 6, and this is a grown man, and for whatever reason, he felt the need to video the act and then send it out online. It sounds like maybe he was sending it to some of his friends or people he knew. And then
real quick, I don't want to cut you off, but we got to kind of be descriptive in here. No. I'm not talking about the act. I'm talking about because you're saying it was a grown man. That's indicting all of us. What kind of man is it?
It was a grown man. I didn't say it was a grown black man or a grown white man. It was just a grown man. It was somebody who knew better. Okay, and we're doing that because people say, "Oh, you're singling us out. You're singling." No, it was a grown man, and I emphasize grown man because regardless of how old this man was per se, this baby was 6, and so this man he knew what he was doing was wrong. Right. Okay, robbing his baby of her innocence, and just all of that other stuff. So anyway, this video is making the rounds, and by this time, the authority is getting wind of it, and they're telling people, don't share it. Mm-hmm. Don't open it. Don't share it. Delete it, report it, whatever you need to do. And so as of, I think it was Monday or Tuesday or something like that, the man turned himself in.
Thank God.
Because they got a good lead that, saying who it was. And so they went to his house to seize the equipment.
And the hard drive and everything.
All that. Mm-hmm. And guess who tells them no?
Would it be the brother or the nephew or the...
It was his wife. His wife pretty much got in the way of the law, impeding the prosecution and the investigation, so they hauled her in as well. She wasn't trying to cooperate.
Now, let me ask you this. You said it's the wife, right?
His wife.
Okay. Was the victim in this related to the wife?
I've heard varying stories. Now, this story didn't say, the one that I read, whether it was the girl's mom. Mm-hmm. Some other story that I did read said it was her mom. So I don't know for sure. The facts are kind of loose, if you will.
Yeah, during an ongoing investigation, they don't like to tell all their stuff out.
However, he had been charged. See, this happened. He's, I guess, was in Alabama. And so, while he was in Michigan, he was charged with sexual abuse of 3 other little people. I don't know if they were all girls or boys.
Walking around after so much parole.
Right. So, and these 3 other little kids were his relatives. They're children. I mean, not that, whether they're 2 or 12, they're children. And so that's just who he is. He's a pedophile for, I guess that's the nicest way I could put it. Yeah. He's a pedophile. And so now he's been apprehended because everybody had the pressure on him. I mean, whether it was the law, was people talking about if I find him. I saw people saying, I'm going to kill him. We need to kill him. And so I think he was probably like,
what happened to due process? Like I said, I'm saying I don't know the facts specifically. We don't know until the investigation is given. Isn't it funny that when it's somebody else, so let's kill him, and everybody wants to circumvent the law. But then when it's them, I need a fair trial. I need whatever.
Well, that I think I hear what you said, and I do agree with that. However, I just think we should have that attitude when it comes to those type of things happening to our babies.
No, we should be outraged. No doubt about it.
Outraged. I remember a story that Maya Angelou told. And she was saying how when she was 6, that an uncle raped her.
I know why the cage bird sings.
She was messed up for the rest of her life. I don't even think she could have kids. Or something happened to her.
She couldn't have kids. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, so...
Because I think a guy had a disease.
Yeah, but she was a baby. She was 6. Right. And so she said she remembers the police coming to the room and stuff, and they're talking to her family. And she overheard... I guess the other time the police came, I could have it all wrong, but the next time the police came, they said, we found him. The uncle, I guess it was. We found him, but somebody had kicked him to death. And his body was found in a swamp. Sure. And she said even at the age of 6, she knew what happened to him. Mm-hmm. Her people's got a hold of him.
Yeah.
As if that, like, why we...
Mob justice, yeah.
And that's the way it should be. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like these pedophiles, they just... I hate the word due process. I know they're supposed to get it because that's the law and the Constitution.
Well,
but why?
In this particular case, when it's on videotape, there doesn't need to be a trial. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you ruined this baby's life. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just
Okay, wait. Now I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I see what you're saying. I'm going to play devil's advocate right here, and I'm not on this person's side or whatever. Okay, you have a 6-year-old child. Mm-hmm. Where was the supervision of the parent or the mother or whatever?
Well, again, there's
decision
stories going around. Like I said, I don't know any of this to be facts, but just from kind of what I've seen and heard, it sounds like maybe that was her mom, or however it was. This man is in the care or caring for her in the presence of this child to where he can do that too. Now, this is where I would like to admonish mothers. This man was already being charged 3 times for doing something like this. Why is he, again, in the care of somebody else's child or caring for somebody else's child? When do we get to the point to where we say, whatever this guy capacity was in the house, okay, you're cool, whether it's the boyfriend, husband, whatever it is, a potential husband, you're cool. However, you're just not cool enough for me to leave you in the presence of my baby.
How many times on this show have I used the example of, I've never been to jail, I've never been incarcerated. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make me better than anybody else. But what I'm saying is, how many times have I said on this show, why is it that a guy could come out of prison and women are cool with it, especially black women? You don't know what this guy, I was never raped in prison. You don't know that. You don't know anything about, and nothing against to the audience or people that might be listening in their cars or at home or whatever. But do you really do a background check on the guy that does come out of jail? I highly doubt it. Because if you, and we're not talking about that free background check where you don't have his bankruptcy. We're talking about a criminal record and what he was literally charged with. No, that is a fact.
Well, because a lot of times, and I'm, just being honest with you, a lot of times people go off of emotions. Oh, he just feels like he's okay. I just, I don't get my sixth sense is not bothered by it. I just feel like he's okay. He seems cool.
But he just did a 15-year bid in jail for rape. But I didn't do it. I got convicted wrongly.
Well, I mean,
now this happens.
I honestly, I don't have an answer for that because that's not something I've ever done. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that people should be counted out when they do crimes and stuff. However, I can see as a single woman, you're doing that. Okay, fine. I'm with such and such. You got out of jail. We cool. We kicking it. But you got small kids. You got kids. I mean, how many times, to your point earlier, have we heard about, children being abused by the mama's boyfriend or whoever the case is? And then the mom says, well, I didn't know. I was just leaving the baby or my kids home going to work and he was watching the kids. I had no clue. And when I hear stuff like that, immediately I think, why are you leaving your babies home with a man you just met? The man that moved in the house already. Now he watching the kids. You off at a 9 to 5, a 9 to 6 all day long, and you done left this man that you hardly know in the care, in the presence of your children. I mean, I can't tell you how many times.
So who actually is at fault in that situation?
Listen, I think anytime you decide, not you per se, but anybody decides to harm a child, ultimately that is your fault. However, I think some blame does need to be assigned to if you're a mother or a father, depending, because women abuse too. Mm-hmm. If you're that child's parent, it is your due diligence, or you should do diligence, to make sure your child is protected.
Yes.
Everybody can't be around your child. I don't care how good they look and how good they talk and what they drive and they pay us bills.
Or I me and my boyfriend are going out for the weekend, so we're gonna leave it with his people.
Oh no, no. Mm-mm. Because I remember a time, like I said, my daughter's father and I haven't been together. You like that? How I'm speaking grammatically correct? Yes. My daughter's father and I.
Yes. Very important. Very important.
Yes. We hadn't been together since my daughter was 1, and so I'd have to work.
Are you sure there hasn't been a couple of?
Oh, but trust me.
Trust
me. He went from Big Daddy Kane to Biz Markie. Okay, so trust me.
Old time sake.
No, ain't no old time sake.
All right.
So, I needed, when I worked, he would watch her. Mm-hmm. So this particular time, our schedules clashed. He wanted to go do something while I went to work. And he was like, well, I'll leave her with my homies from the Marines and all this other stuff. I said, listen, I'll miss a whole week of work before you leave my baby.
Right.
I know those are your friends from the Marines. And listen, I'm not even saying they're going to do nothing to her. I just would not be able to concentrate at work knowing that you done left my child, a female child, with your military buddies. Mm-hmm. And so when I said it to him like that, he says, well, I didn't really think about that. They my friends, they would never do nothing. So I'm not saying it, but just let's not even invite that. Right, open the door for that. And so, I mean, we got to be bulldogs when it comes to our children. Listen, Ray, it don't mean I don't care for you, but it's just, I'll see if my mama can watch the kids. Right. Or my sister.
Thus a need for more boys and girls clubs in these centers so that your children can be watched in a public setting if it comes down to that.
To the point that you made earlier is do some background checks. We listen, maybe I don't know where we've come in society to where we just need to do background checks on people, but
if you're going to be leaving your child with them, you damn sure should be.
I know personally, just me, I get tired of hearing stories like this.
Yes, I do.
Especially when the stories are avoidable. This kind of stuff is avoidable. I mean, damn, the dude has been charged 3 times already for doing the same thing, and then somehow he's in the care of this other baby. So it's like at some point in time.
But I didn't do it. I was wrongly convicted. I didn't do it.
Well, I mean, it kind of sounds like...
I just took a plea deal because, that was my best option. You know how it is, sister. They after us. Well, I was set up.
A lot of women, and I'm not even saying this is ubiquitous to black women, but a lot of women just are so... happy to have a man to where I don't care. I mean, I've even heard of situations where women are feeding the dude steak and the children eat top ramen. Mm-hmm. And so it's like...
And getting child support from the real father.
You trying to open up a can of worms?
No, I'm just saying. How else can she afford the steak?
Well, no, I mean, regardless of how she's getting the steak, but
it doesn't matter.
Man over your children.
Yeah, that's my point.
And so then, if this man has ill intentions for your children, of course he's thinking, well, shit, she gonna feed me steak. She don't give a shit about the little bastards.
Exactly.
I do whatever I want. Exactly. She gonna have my back. I mean, you know how many times we've heard of, women and men who have grown up and said, I don't have a relationship with my mom or my dad anymore because she or he allowed such and such to do this to me. And instead of doing a Maya Angelou on this man, he stayed in the family.
Good example. One of the main reasons why Monique and Oprah are having a dispute is because
of her father.
Because Oprah brought the family on, and Monique was like, "Wait a minute, no.
Right.
And you can do whatever you want, but don't do that to me."
Oprah wanted to get the backstory anyway, so she betrayed her. So I mean, I can't tell you the amount of people I've talked to. I had a friend of mine. He said his mom went to the store, left him home with her new boo, and by the time she went to the store, and the time she came back, this man had forced him, and he said he couldn't have been no more than 8 to perform oral sex on him. And he said his mother knew right away that something was wrong with him, just because his whole demeanor changed. His whole demeanor. But the time she went to the store and back, this man had did this to her son.
Now, statistically, maybe you don't know the numbers, but how prevalent is this? Because people think about predator, think it's a stranger.
It's usually a family member
or somebody they know.
Usually a family member. And I mean, I'm not saying that you should not distrust everybody. We're not talking about somebody borrowing your car. Right. We're talking about the life and the well-being of your child. And so you're going to have to be on the fence with everybody. Not even on the fence like, you know what, you're probably cool, but now I'm taking my baby with me.
Yeah, my mom didn't leave me and my brother with...
we got to just
very selective.
Listen, this is going to sound real vulgar, and I'm not trying to be. I'm just really trying to drive the point home. We can't confuse, and I say we, I'm talking to women. And hell, I even throw men in there because men get with women who mean their children no harm, no good. We got to stop, and I'm speaking from a woman's point of view. We got to stop confusing good dick with that person being a good person. Right. That a bad person can have some pretty good D. And so because I'm trying to be clean, he's screwing you.
Yeah, sure.
That don't mean you should be leaving him with your child. He didn't gave you to feel good. Oh, he cool. Well, and now you're leaving him with your babies.
Wouldn't that, to me, it's almost on the verge of craziness, because if I was a woman, or forget it, let's reverse it. I'm a man. Or let me reverse it back. I'm sorry. I'm a woman. I'm going to work and this nigga laid up in the bed. There's a problem there. I mean, that would be a clue to me.
I agree, and
I'm not saying he shouldn't have to work. Now, if you're like me and you're retired, but you're bringing in income,
so I'm gonna play devil's advocate right back with you. Okay. Now, John, you ain't got no job anyway, and shoot, I be struggling. Trying to get a babysitter for the kids every day, and so you hear.
And babysitting is $300, $400 a week. I might as well leave
the kids with you, so I can go to work until you find a job. Make sure they get to school and something to eat and all this other stuff. And so what you've done is you've given somebody you probably just met, like I said, a month or so ago. You giving them control over something that should be very precious to you. I get it. I need a babysitter. Because I've been there before when I was trying to find a babysitter for my child, my mama, my sister, my brother-in-law, or my brother and his wife. And
I think you called me a couple times. I said, hell no.
So I've been there before. Right. That's kind of a single mom or single parent struggle.
But a $300 savings is worth damaging your child for the rest of their life?
That's something I would never do. Okay. I would never leave my child with somebody just so I can go bust a hustle for 8 hours. Because I wouldn't be able to concentrate the whole time. But a lot of times they're like, well, shit, you home? You might as well be watching the kids. At least get them on the bus. But then you off at work 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You done left this.
What's going on?
Like, the dude, but your kids don't know the dude.
I do a lot of research watching Jerry Springer and Maury and stuff. And it is just so amazing how, if I was a parent, now thank God I don't have any daughters. Right. I had sons.
Well, you got to watch the boys too.
No, nowadays. But I'm just saying, having sons, I didn't have to worry, you have that talk about, like my brother had two daughters. Yeah. So eventually those girls are going to have children and, whatever, because girls act up, they get a certain age and you guys realize I got something that's worth, somebody, wants it. It's something that's wanted.
Most coveted. Yeah.
Right. Something that's wanted. And so, I didn't have to worry about that because that's going to be somebody else's problem. But worst I'm going to have to do is tell my son, step up, be a man, take care of your business.
Right.
But it's alarming to me at how so many of these parents, especially in our community, you see your young daughter has developed and transitioned into a young woman, not a woman, a young woman.
Right.
And yet you have your boyfriend in that house. To me, at that point, if I had a daughter and my ex, I would have told her, I understand you got a man or whatever, and I would talk to the man and talk to them and say, at this point, there should be nobody in this house with my daughter alone.
Well, and then that's another thing too. I would give out a warning to you men. Don't be around your new booze, your girlfriend, whoever she is, wife, whatever, your new wife. Don't be around her daughters by yourself. I've talked to, because I talk to a lot of people, for whatever reason, they confide in me. But this one particular guy was saying that he was with this woman and she had a daughter who was 16. So he moved in with her. That's a whole other situation. Moved in with her and they ended up having a child together. And so he said, it would be times he would come home. He said he's, opening the door and stuff. He would come in. He said one time he came in with his friend. And he said, I know the girl heard us coming in. He said they walked into the door and she laid up, 16-year-old now, laid up on the couch with her in her drawers and with her legs wide open. He said they both just did a 360. And the friend told him, don't stay here, man. Right. You, don't do it.
Well, you remember I had a stepdaughter and there was no way in the world when she would come home from school or something. I was still in the military at the time, whatever. But when I found out if she was home before I was and before her mother got home, I'd go find something to do. And then I put the rules down with her and her mother. I said, stay away from me at all times. Just like you would do in the military dealing with a
But it's not even that you're being paranoid. It's just because at the end of the day, no matter what men, no matter what goes on in that situation, you are always going to be in the wrong. Yeah. Even if you did nothing. Everybody's going to perceive you as the bad guy. Right. The aggressor. She was laid up there in her underwear, but you just went on in the room anyway. You just, he had no other choice but to run out of there. Yeah. But it's like,
telling her to put a robe on, walking in the house.
And listen, if you got to get to that point, and he was telling me another time, a friend of his, he went to visit over his friends, and he said it was early in the morning, about 8 o'clock or so. He said he's sitting on the couch, and he thought his friend was coming out the room. He said, but it was his friend's stepdaughter, who's about 15 as well, walked through the living room, and he said, I know she saw me through the living room in her underwear and her bra top. And so he said he hurried up and got out of there. And then he said he heard his friend going on, why are you walking around here like that, blah, 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 blah. I said, that is some scary shit.
But see, but this goes back to where I was trying to go. The part of the fault lies, but you got some moms that think there's nothing wrong with that.
But I'm telling you, though, not you, but I'm just saying to men, if you're with a woman like that who will not put rules and impose any rules upon her daughter, if you're around, whether you live there or not, don't be with that woman because that is never going to end well for you. It's not.
Because she's got the good.
But a lot of men get caught. Listen, if that woman is too stupid enough to tell her daughter around any mixed company, put some clothes on. If she will allow you to be in that situation, that's not the woman for you because it's all, I'm telling you, I got stories for days, y'all. We can do 20 shows on this. A good friend of mine. I worked with for about 10 years. Close to just, in close proximity for 10 years. That was my dude. One day he didn't come to work. No, but even before that, he would tell me, D, because he had stepdaughters. I was sitting in the living room watching TV, and then, her, one of my stepdaughters, me and her was home by herself, and she knew I was there. She came through the house. She walked through the living room, through the kitchen in her G-string. And he said, so I don't know what to do. Should I tell my wife? Yes. Or should I said, this is kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, you should have left and then told the wife.
Yeah, I said because now if you don't tell her and she finds out that happened, what was you doing? And blah blah blah.
Yeah, and why didn't you tell me?
But then if you tell her, she probably gonna be like, well, I said this is not good. Yeah,
it's not good either way. So.
But do you know what ended up happening to him?
What?
He ended up doing a 2-year stint in prison for lewd and lascivious acts on a child having to do with one of his stepdaughters. Now I went and visited him. He said I didn't do it. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm not defending him saying he did it or not. But why be in that situation?
Why stay in that situation? You're setting yourself up.
Your safety, your peace of mind, your freedom.
Yeah. And this story isn't a new story. It is a very prevalent story going on. I mean, you're hearing more and more horrific acts going on as these drugs. And just think about this. I want you to think about this. Now marijuana is legal in some states.
California now.
Yeah, Colorado, Washington, I think, Oregon. I know Oregon. Some people, it has certain effects on people. I used to date a girl, when I smoke marijuana, I get horny. All these little things. So think if you're a 16-year-old girl and the dad's in there using it for municipal purposes, the stepdad or the boyfriend. Right. All kinds. I mean, this is it's crazy.
Listen, again, because you hear this a lot. Oh, she fast. Mm-hmm. Or as some people would say, in the South and the Midwest, she hot in the ass. Mm-hmm. I don't care if her ass is the Tower Inferno. It's a volcano. You as a grown man, you need to, that is none of your concern. Yeah. Her being hot in the ass does not give you permission to say what she is.
Yeah, well, the sad thing is...
That's a child.
No, exactly. The sad thing is, and I've seen it a lot growing up, especially in my hometown where I was born, it's like these older dudes wait for these younger girls to get a certain age and they prey on them. And you'll see a girl that's 16 and you're saying, this child had a baby for this 40-something-year-old man. Mm-hmm. And even within my own family, I have a relative that has gone to jail for, basically statutory rape or rape in within itself. And
it's to me, it's just, that's a line you don't cross. I don't care how she looks or any of that kind of stuff. She's a child. It's always going to be your fault. But, always. There's no exception.
And then knowing that, I'm a firm believer there is a serious mental illness case within the Black community. I really do believe that. And I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm saying...
I'm going to give you a little pushback because I think we, as Black people, get charged unfairly with certain things.
Sure.
I think pedophilia and child abuse and sex crimes and stuff against children are prevalent in everybody's
community. It's every community. But what I'm saying is our decision-making capacity and some of the things we do, if you look in the community, there's always somebody that's kind of like off. Or they just, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, you're like, well, what are you thinking? It's like they don't think things through.
I just think that's true for everybody.
No, everybody. Yeah. But what I'm saying is because we are so prevalent to do things to survive, like I said, your mind isn't fully developed as a teenager. But yet we're smoking weed and we're damaging our brain. We're doing alcohol, whatever the deal is. Mm-hmm. So there's brain damage going on regardless of the severity of it. And
I don't know because I've never done drugs, so I don't know. I've never done it yet. Like you said, it's legal in California. Yeah. People are offering me different things.
Right,
I'm like, I'd rather not.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the severe by legalizing it. It's like having the Indians giving them alcohol in the days.
This is kind of what I think because I've drank before. Sure. I've been drunk twice in my whole life, and did I do some things that I didn't want? I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it.
I will tell you from the guys over at 29 Palms, she's in the Hall of Fame. No. No, joking.
I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is I don't know how much alcohol or drugs has to do with people making those type of decisions. I think if you have the propensity to do something to a child, whether you was drunk or not, that's just what you were going to do.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not talking about assaulting a child. I'm talking about some of the crimes that we do.
Right.
Again, how many babies have been made because we had too much to drink? It affects our decision-making processes and things like that. It just does. These drugs do that. And now that a lot of this stuff is legal, this is not a new story. I mean, there's a high clip of this going on in all communities. Let me ask you this.
Did the legalization of marijuana make people go out and do it who weren't already doing it?
No. But see, that's where you're missing my point. What I'm saying is it's now rising.
What's rising?
The allegations and these charges. There was something just yesterday. It wasn't a Black person. I think it was a Hispanic person. And that charge had been laid already. And of course, when they're doing it... Wait. They laced it with drugs.
They've been doing that.
We know that. But what I'm saying is now because it's legal, and if you have a propensity and your brain is damaged, you know what I mean? Your decision-making process is impaired.
I mean, I get that.
And it's going to be impaired more now because now I have an excuse because now I'm doing municipal, blah, 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 and it's okay. And now I've got my little 15-year-old girl here, and it's, I can't make the right decision because I'm a different person.
I just think that's because you know what they say when people drink and they speak their mind,
the real to them come out.
Right, exactly. So that's just who you are.
Right.
A person can use the defense. Well, you know, I was high. You know, that's why I did it. You wanted to do it all along. Let's just use an example of, you know, dude's girlfriend's daughter. And she, you know, oh my gosh, I was out of my mind. I wouldn't have did it now. You've been watching that little girl all this time.
So all of these people now, like I said, it's on the rise. It's going to be exposed.
I think I think I'm following you now. What you're saying is now people are going to use that as an excuse.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Right. Well, I mean, nice try.
Yeah.
Don't let me be on OG like that.
Right. And it's going to be rising. Oh, I was under the influence.
Don't listen. I'm telling y'all now. If I ever get on the jury and that case comes up,
it's like DUI now. People don't want to tolerate it because remember before. You can get in we weren't alive, but a little bit before our time, our parents' time. You can get in an accident with somebody, and it was I was drunk, and then they let you off scot-free. It was an accident.
That's before MAG came into the picture.
Right. Now MAG comes in the picture. Now you got to have insurance.
Right.
It's gonna, it cause and effect, and that's what's happening now. So, and I think it's going to be more on the rise because, like you said, it's going to bring out the real person. So these monsters that are not in your body, like that show, Monsters Inside of Me, monsters that are inside your home,
right,
are now going to start showing themselves.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I can't speak to this enough. I will speak to this till I'm blue in the face. You just never should take a risk when it comes to your babies. Like, you want to go off and be with strange dudes or women, because like I said, it's not just the men, it's women too. Like I said, I spoke to a gentleman, I'm a little older than me. He actually, we had I met him over Facebook and we had a conversation. He wanted to talk to me personally about a situation. And he says, it's not just the women. He said, that happened to me as a child. And it was by an uncle. And it happened to him for quite a while. He said, but he never told his father while he waited till his father died to tell anybody. He said, because I didn't want my father to go to jail for murder. Richard
Pryor, he, in his book, Prior Convictions, he talks about sexual abuse as a young child.
So it's not just the girls. It's the boys, too. I mean, it's just, I don't know, just the monsters, as you would say.
In the home.
They're out there. They're in the home. They're out there. A lot of times people don't understand that these guys or girls, but let's say most of these dudes, they pray.
Yes.
And they watch. They say not only do they groom the child, they groom the mom. They get her trust. Oh, you can trust. Yeah, go ahead and go to work. I ain't doing nothing today. I'll watch her. Go ahead and leave him. And then they might not do nothing to that child then because they're
waiting for their opportunity.
And then wham!
Waiting for that. Oh, I was drunk. We were sitting here getting high. You and a 15-year-old child are getting high together. So I'm sorry, baby.
And then, like we were talking about a little bit ago, the other side is that is the mothers who will stay with that man. Oh my gosh, I just can't see myself living with. Because my friend, as a matter of fact, the one I told you about that went to jail for the lewd lascivious acts, I was friends with his wife as well. And she called me and she says, you know what? I love him. I don't know what to do. I just, I can't be without him because they've been together for so long. I said, listen. I understand it'd be hard to stop loving somebody overnight because they did something like that. I said, but at the end of the day, this should never be a hard decision for you. I said, how is your child going to look at you knowing that you chose this man, whether he did, I don't know if he did it.
Nobody's going to love me. Nobody's going to.
Right, but I said, your child is going to always, the decision you make right now is going to shape how your child will forever view her mother.
Exactly. There's a show on Facebook, shout out to, what's his name? Trey or whatever his name, light-skinned brother. The show's called Know the Ledge. And he has a clip in there where a mother gets up in the church and she testifies of things that happened to her. And I want you guys to take a look at the clip because the mother of the woman that's testifying about what happened to her, the mother gets up and defends the boyfriend.
Oh, Lord.
So you guys take a look at this clip, but share and comment and let us know what you think about it. So that's proving our point of how this woman is just in denial. If your child comes to you and says these things happen, why would you call the child a liar?
I'll tell you why, and I've never been in that situation. It's because, as you know, with my friend's wife who called me, I just love him. I don't know what to do. And so for you to admit that this man is a monster and he did this to your child is going to force you to make a decision you don't want to make. Because he makes me feel good. I love him. I don't know. Maybe she did something. We've all seen Precious. And a lot of people, I don't know if it was true or was fiction, but when Monique's character was talking to Mariah, and she basically said, I'm paraphrasing, but that bitch was sleeping with my man. She talking about her daughter.
Her daughter.
She was, and what she said was she was effing my man. Mm-hmm. Absolving this grown man of any responsibility of messing with her baby.
Are we desperate, black women and women in general, for a man that you're willing to just... Wait, number one, why are you in competition with your daughter?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
You know what I mean?
You'd be surprised. Listen, you're always going to compete. I don't care if it's your daughter or any of the next door neighbor. If you have low self-esteem and you don't have any self-confidence, you're always going to be in competition with everybody else because you feel the need to be better than them. Instead of just being your better you, I got to try to be better than you, whether it's I have a better dress than you, a better car than you, I have a better walk, I have the best hair. I'm always going to be competing with you, whether it's my daughter or not, if I don't know who I am. And that's usually where it comes from. And you also see a lot of competition or jealousy. Let's say the mama does have a new man. Mm-hmm. And he,
cute, he's nice looking.
Or he says hi to the daughter, and why you got to keep saying hi to her? Mm-hmm. Well, mom, you brought him home. I'm supposed to ignore him, and then she's not mad with the man per se. She's mad with the daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's her fault that you brought this man home, and now that they're speaking or whatever the case is. You got you all in your feelings.
Well, a good example. Let me ask you this: you raised your daughter. Mm-hmm. You and Deanna's father went your separate ways when she was 1. Mm-hmm. So you had 17 years of dealing with your daughter. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have? I'm not saying you ran across that, but I'm just saying did you ever have feelings of competition? Because Deanna's a beautiful girl.
No, I love my daughter. Mm-hmm. See, when I love my daughter and I love myself, and I know that anything that child has done. From the womb to now has been up to me to help her do. And so I know that since I had her, it was my responsibility to raise her. What the hell? I'm going to be competing with her for. I want her to be better than me.
Right.
Any mama worth her weight want their children to be better than them and do better than them.
Take
That's the way
baton
I see
and go move it forward.
Baby, go do what I couldn't do.
Right.
I'm giving you the wisdom that I have because I made a lot of mistakes. I don't want to, which is why she don't have no children. She'll be 26 this year. Yep. When I was 21 is when I had her. Mm-hmm. So she surpassed me by 5 years. So she's winning.
Right.
But I instilled that in her. Listen, I'm not saying you were a mistake because I never said she was. But
you weren't planned, but you weren't a mistake.
I don't want you to. I want you to go do all the things you're supposed to do. Go change the world. Go leave your impact, and then go do that. And that's what she's doing.
Right. Right.
So there's no competition.
But in the time growing, I know you had boyfriends, in between that time and stuff like that. Like I said, she's a legend on Train on Time. No, she's not a legend. Nobody ever heard of her.
No.
But anyway, so as a mother, did you have that problem of bringing boyfriends around and things like that? And if you did, you were very careful?
I would tell you this much. And some women, some people will argue with this. No man. Because I wasn't, when I got married, my daughter was an adult. The whole 10 months I was married. And she didn't like him, and I understand why. Nobody liked him, as a matter of fact. Hell, I didn't even like him.
Well, I liked him. I liked him. He was okay guy.
Because he was showing you his, he was showing you
public,
that side. Yeah, he
persona.
wasn't showing you the douchebag that he actually was. Okay. But what was the question?
Did you have to, run across that in raising Deanna?
I know what I was saying because I was, when I get to talking about Voldemort, that's his name. I go somewhere, it's like, right. I always let men that I was with, I don't need you to be her father.
Right.
She has a father. Whether me and her father getting along, she has a father. Right. I don't need you to try to replace him or any of that kind of stuff. And sorry, but I never put no man above my daughter. I never gave my daughter the backseat over no man. Yeah. Because especially, like I said, if you wasn't my husband, we weren't living together. Next time she come, we'll sit right here and you can ask her.
Okay.
Did my mama ever put any man, or your mama ever put any man over you or let any man mistreat you? And she'll say, hell no.
Right. The funny thing is when my mom remarried after my father had passed, he was a nice guy and everything like that. He wasn't the really father material, but I always viewed him as my mom's husband.
Because that's what he was.
Yeah, because he really wasn't my father, number one, because I wasn't bastardized. I was a legitimate child.
But we got that bad in our community, though. This is Uncle So-So.
Yeah.
This is Uncle this, that, and the other. And this, again, Mom, this is the fifth goddamn uncle you done run into this house in the last 6 months.
Right.
So, yeah, but I didn't see that either. Yeah. I had a father. Mm-hmm. Then I had a stepfather all the way up until the time I was, while I moved out of the house. So I only saw my mom with two men. Mm-hmm. And my stepfather, he was my father. Right. I didn't even refer to him as my stepfather. Right. I called him Dad. Yeah, so it's like my stepfather, I call him Pops or something like that. That was my dad as well. Yeah, but, like my mom being the bear cub that, and her cubs, the woman and her cubs, when it came to the discipline of us and all that other stuff, that was handled by her. Right. Period. Right. Exclusively, whatever. Mm-hmm. But of course, as we got bigger than my mom and stuff like that, when it really got to it, we had to learn some man things. He kind of, right. But discipline-wise, no, he had no say-so in how we were being structured. And I think, too, any man that I've ever been with, for one, they knew I was 5150 when that's the crazy code for California. Penal code. Yeah, and that's the hold. They're going to hold 72-hour hold. They knew I was crazy. It was crazy for and about my daughter. Mm-hmm. And they knew that her daddy was crazy. Mm-hmm. And they knew my daddy was crazy. Right, right. So, I mean... Yeah, because I remember when I saw Deanna, I was like, you ain't got no kids? I'm like, for what? Why she need kids? Mm-hmm. Why does she need kids right now? Same. Well, just because everybody else is doing it. Yeah, that also goes to show you she's not a follower. So yeah, she's raised to that's why to enjoy life. You want to raise them to be better. Ain't no competition. Right. No. Yeah, that's a very, very tragic story. So what's going to be the outcome of the story? Or listen, where is it at right now? Where it's at is obviously they're still doing the investigation, but they got the man and his wife in custody because she was impeding progress and didn't want them to do whatever they had to do. I'm not a violent person. I just want to get that out there on camera. However, and I said this on my Facebook post, I wish nothing but the most heinous acts possible to be done to this man. Mm-hmm. I hope that he doesn't live out his prison sentence. I mean, I know this is going to sound cold, and maybe it's not for me to wish that for him. They say you're supposed to forgive. I said that's some bullshit. It's eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Some things you just are it's just unforgivable. But yeah, I mean, I hope he at least gets 10 times over what he did to those babies. Well, when he gets to jail, if that's the case. That is my hope. Yeah. I saw a video too of Nicki Minaj because her brother is in the clink for raping his 11-year-old stepdaughter. There we go. Situation. There we go. There was a video I saw of him, and he denied it up until the time that they there's a video of him getting jumped in prison. Yeah. So that's going to be his fate, the whole time he's in there. You're in constant. Yeah, and most likely he's going to be in segregation his whole time. But this dude wasn't in. I don't know how he got out. Nicki Minaj's brother, but he wasn't segregated. Well, they keep him separate from whatever they need to do. But he was probably on what do you call that? Or I don't know. Walking down the main line. Yeah, something whatever like that. Whatever that is, going to child. But I predict I don't even predict it. It's actually happening now. There is a rise of these kind of incidences happening. People are this how shows how ignorant people are. They're videotaping themselves doing these crimes. But before we go, is it a rise of it happening, or has it always happened? And then social media is just making it more. Well, statistically, what I'm saying, it's going through the court systems. Because you remember, that you remember, but we would read about different things, people getting caught with child pornography in the house. Yeah, the Playboys, they were distributing videos and stuff. But now it's everywhere. These fools are putting it online, and there's no secrets online. Right, and and like I said, and that's because the rise of social media. But what I'm saying is, in the court system itself, these cases are now becoming a regular event, and it's sad. And I really feel we need some street justice. Goddamn, that's what I say. Street justice. Well, the thing is, where are the men that are out there providing that? How can these men do that when they're raised by their mamas? I think that's okay. I don't care. These men, wherever those men are, they need to come on back. Sure, street justice. Back in my father's day, and it's funny. Back in my father's day, you couldn't just walk into the neighborhood and nobody knew who you were. Because the dudes in the neighborhood would say, who's that? You can't walk across. And it wasn't a gang thing like gang bullshit that we got going on. No, it was the equivalent of a black person walking into a white neighborhood. Right. They're going to question you and say, what are you doing here? Whatever. And some of those men are still around, but I'm just saying we have a whole generation of men that were raised by women that think that's okay. I'm serious, y'all. I just want to know where are the men that would stomp a mud hole in somebody, find out they did that to a baby.
Right. Well, I'm one of them, so if that ever happens. So, hopefully, like I said, my prayers go out to the child. And by the way, is the child okay?
They said she's okay, but how do you ever be okay from
mentally? Yeah. Well, like I said, I have experience with that within my own family.
Yeah.
On both sides, and I don't want to get into it, and it was horrific.
Right.
And I'll tell you about it, a little bit about it when we go to break. Before we go, I want to mention that Jasmine Gilliam, she has a company called Blessed by Jazzy, and she does braids, and she is a wizard with the braids. So if you're interested in getting your braids done, please contact Jazzy. We'll put her information up, and we'll let you guys know what's going on. We are going to go in the second hour, you guys. We are just getting started. Just keep doing what we got to do. We'll see you guys in the second hour.